Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. Today we're going to be reviewing these lens effects filters that I got from, well, Prism Lens Effects. So let's just jump right into it. Well, first things first, if you don't know what filters are, essentially it's like a screw-on piece of glass or something that goes in front of your lens to kind of, well, filter out the light. Different filters have different effects. And this company, Prism Lens Effects, essentially makes these super cool glass filters that give your image a unique look. I first heard about them from this company I buy all my LUTs from, called Tropicolor, and from there we just kind of found out that the owner was also the owner of Prism Lens Effects, and we wanted to spice up our footage and just kind of make it have a different vibe, a different feel. So we ended up getting these filters, but we also ended up getting these cool prisms that we'll talk about later. But yeah, essentially each filter does a different thing and it gives a different look, and I'm going to kind of be reviewing these ones so that way you guys kind of know what they do, how they look, and essentially if you guys should pick one up or not. But I do want to say I am not sponsored by anybody. I just wanted to kind of talk about this stuff because maybe it might be useful to you. So the first one that we got right here is the half and half. I think it's called a Split Diopter. I don't know the actual technical names. It will all be linked down below for the technicality of it. Half of it has a glass and half of it doesn't. So this half right here will look normal, and then this half over here will look, well, distorted and warped. But yeah, I really like this filter a lot because if you want your image to look crispy and clean, but you also want just a little bit, like half of it to look just that cinematic glassy look, that's kind of the way to go. Another cool trick that I found out with this one is if you have your subject like whatever distance they are, and then you have another subject super close, you're able to kind of get both of them in focus with a weird like effect. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you see it, you'll know what I'm kind of talking about. I ran into one issue with these filters, and that was that these filters are 77mm thread, and a lot of my glass are 82. And if my glass isn't 82, I have step-up rings all the way up to 82, so that way I only have one filter and I don't have to worry about anything. I ended up buying a step-down filter from 82 to 77, so that way all my filters have this, so that way I could just pop that on. I don't have to worry about taking rings off, putting that on, or whatever. And before, this wouldn't fit on my standard 24 to 70 G Master zoom. I had to kind of like do some workarounds. But now that I got the step down filter, everything works. Essentially, I just kind of leave this filter on here, and it kind of works as a 77 to 82, and you just kind of put it on to the 82. So from 82, you're kind of stepping down to that 77, but it works, and it doesn't cause any vignetting. So I was a little afraid of that, but it doesn't cause anything. You're good. So that's the Split Diopter, one of my favorites for sure. All right, jumping into the next one. We have this, I think it's called the center field one. I wish they had their names on here. But essentially, only everything in the middle is going to be in focus. All the stuff on the sides won't be. So it really helps isolate your subject if that's what you're kind of going for. I've used this not that often, but it's got its place. We used this for a portion of my movie where there was a cinematic montage of a party and everything. It just kind of made it seem like a dream-like vibe without it being too dreamlike, like one of those Tiffin filters. If you put this on a 70mm lens, it has such a smooth transition of focus that it just looks really magical. I guess that's what I really like about it. Another thing to watch out about these filters is if you're using these on something like a 35 or wider, you're gonna be able to tell that there's like something in the middle. I would definitely recommend something from like 50 and above, so that way you guys don't see like the actual like lines that it creates. When it's like 50 and above, you're really able to see the whole like smoothness. It has a smoothness transition, so it just feels a lot better and looks a lot better. If you're using it with the 24 or like a 35 still, you can kind of see that there's like something in front of the lens. Especially with this one, I would watch out for that. Other than that, I love these. I love this filter. I also have another step down filter on here, so I wouldn't say this is my favorite. I would say my favorite was the other Split Diopter one where it's only half. I don't know, I feel like I have more play with the half. I feel like this one is just made for either more like subject isolation, or if you're trying to just have like the corners, like because since you can shift it, if you have like the corners kind of like blurred out, it works. But it's all right. If I had to pick another one, I wouldn't mind, sending that one in and getting a different one. On to the last one. This is definitely like up there with my favorite. It's the Kaleidoscope one. I had to pick this one up because, well, nothing else makes a crazy cool like effect like this one. This kind of gives you subject separation. It really like pulls your subject out and kind of hyper focuses on that for sure. Essentially, if you don't know what a kaleidoscope is, it kind of just like refracts whatever's kind of like right in the middle like a million times around, and it just kind of looks really cool. It looks like one of those bug eyes, like, you know what I'm saying, like if you're like a bug on the wall and you just see like a million different things. I don't know. I don't know if that's how bugs actually see. I'm not a bug. This one I used a lot in Puerto Rico. I really loved getting that like crispy color out there. This one has a lot of refraction and light, so you see a lot more different colors. It looks really beautiful, especially around the edges. And if you're filming and while moving this, it just looks like, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. It just looks really cool. And a lot of my clients love this, not only for videos, but also for photos. I've taken a couple photos in the studio, and it really just helps spice things up. When you're bored, like if you have a boring background, it just kind of helps like separate the subject like a lot, and then just makes you forget about the background. Plus, like the color refraction really makes the colors kind of just feel different and tropical. Definitely recommend this anytime you go to like a tropical area or just something cool like that. I love it. Also got another step down filter right here. For the kaleidoscope, I would say the wider you go, it's more forgiving the wider you go. I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't recommend going 35 or wider, but you know, with the kaleidoscope, you might be able to get away with it because it's such a weird, different like effect that it really won't matter as much. And they come in these really nice pouches. They're really like padded, I would say. Like you really like don't have to worry about you know, it being scratched up or whatever. But I wouldn't drop it, that's for sure. Like I wouldn't just like that. You know, here at Busta-Bust, we out here testing it for you, so that way you don't gotta. Out of those three filters, I would say the Split Diopter is my favorite, only because like it's subtle, but it's like just enough in my opinion, where it doesn't overpower it. But then the Kaleidoscope, if you want to go loud, you can just, you know, put the Kaleidoscope on, and it's just really like, yo, I'm here. You know, I'm doing something. I know Lens Effects makes another Kaleidoscope where it's like a subtle Kaleidoscope, so it's not so much of repetition. So there's only like 4 or 5. But I was just like, if I'm going to go hard, you know, I'm going to go yard, you know what I'm saying? We also got these other little goodies from Lens Effects. Essentially, let's just say you have a cinema camera and you got a cinema lens and you can't put a screw-on filter on there. Or if you just want more control of where the light's going to be hitting from, you can buy their mount that allows you to, you know, like mount it up on like a magic arm and just have it right in front of your lens. Or you can just, you know, hold it with your hand, or like get another holder thing right here, so that way, you know, this doesn't get a bunch of fingerprints, but like you can film literally in front of it while you twist it or while you move it around from different angles. So it just it gives you more flexibility. I definitely like this one. I've used it a handful of times, not too many, mainly because when I'm on the go, I'm just like, I just kind of forget about this little guy. It kind of gets lost. It doesn't give too much of a refraction, but it just gives just enough where it's just like, it's good, you know? The good thing is you can kind of control how much you get by pushing in and pulling out from the lens view, so that way it's not either too overbearing or too subtle. So it's up to you. So I definitely like this one, and it was kind of relatively cheap, so I just thought I'd pick that one up. Here is our second one that we got. This is the... I don't even know what this is called. I forgot. I'll, you know, say it right here. I think it's like I call it the Kaleidoscope Orb, but whatever it is, it just looks crazy. Essentially, it is what I call it. It's like a kaleidoscope, but like the orb. Essentially, you can kind of like, you know, control how much of it you want in the picture. You can have it in the corner a little bit to spice up the corner, or you can have it right in the middle, so that way it's just crazy. You get the benefits of having a huge like thing like this control while having like a kaleidoscope effect. So it kind of helps when you think that the kaleidoscope's too much. It's cool. I definitely haven't used it as much. It's heavy. It's all glass. Yeah, I just haven't used it as much, but a couple times that I have used it, it's pretty solid. Like I said, I really like the convenience of just screwing on the filter and just running. Most of the time I'm shooting on a gimbal, so like, you know, I can't just one arm a gimbal and then put this in front or mount this up to a gimbal. I don't know, it seems like a lot of work versus just putting on a kaleidoscope filter. That's my opinion, but yeah, the quality of all these products are definitely good. I definitely haven't seen any damages. The only one I felt was this lens effect, this split diopter. I kind of chipped it right here. I don't know if you can kind of zoom in on that one right there. That's just on me. I don't know what I was trying to do, to be honest. I think I was trying to put all my filters into one case, and I just kind of chipped it like that. So like, you know, me being an idiot, it happens. Actually, Chad came up with this genius idea of like kind of like combining like these like handheld filters with actual screw-on filters and just seeing like how crazy you can kind of make it. I haven't tried it, but you know, we're definitely gonna test it out in a bit. Final thoughts. I love them. If I had to pick one, I would pick the split diopter. Definitely my go-to. If I had to pick a second one, I'd pick the Kaleidoscope filter, and then the rest of them is just up to your preference, I'd say. Great quality product. They're sturdy. They come with these nice little baggies. Obviously, I won't drop this one on here because my glass table gonna break. But this Kaleidoscope filter definitely has some weight to it, so you'll definitely feel it when you put it on, when you hold it in your hand. These other ones that don't require so much glass are, you know, relatively light. You know, it's not that big of a deal. But I know Lens Effects makes a bunch. They make a plethora of different filters. Some of them that you might like are like the Anamorphic Streaks. They have like these ones where like you screw it on. Essentially, every light that goes through essentially has a streak. It's cool if you're like, you know, shooting car commercials or action movies or whatever, and you can't afford real anamorphic lenses. It's kind of a nice way to kind of, you know, bypass that. And they make one for like gold and blue. They make let's see, I don't even remember. They have so many different filters. These are just the ones that I got. I definitely recommend you guys check them out if you guys want them. But I know I will be coming out with another video talking about my favorite filters in general, not just from Lens Effects, but like my other filters like diffusion filters, variable NDs, and polarizers. So if you guys are interested in that, you know, comment down below and subscribe so that way you guys don't miss it. And, you know, hit that notification bell, boy. Yeah, if you guys have Lens Effects filters, comment down below which one you guys like. If you guys recommend one, I know I'm trying to pick up a few more, so, you know, recommend me some in the comments down below. If you guys haven't checked out the Tropicolor stuff, that stuff is awesome. I almost use it all the time. Actually, that's a lie. I use it all the time for all my videos. Let me know what you guys think, and thank you guys so much for, you know, watching this video and subscribing. So, peace.